What is up, YouTube? What is up, my Giants fans? It is your boy Jay Dimes, and we are back at it with another New York Giants video. Back at it with another New York Giants banger. And before we get into this video, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, make sure you go ahead and comment, and make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you love you some Giants football. Now, in this video, I wanted to talk about some free agents that I think the New York Giants should or could possibly take a look at possibly signing this offseason. Now, the Giants stand at around $44 to $46 million in cap space, and that is with the Daniel Jones contract and a Saquon Barkley contract projectedly off of the books. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some, low-costing possible free agents that I think the Giants should definitely take a look at in this year's free agency class. Let's get into some of the free agents I think the New York Giants will or could take a look at possibly signing. Let's get right into this one. Now, the first free agent we are going to talk about makes too much sense for the New York Giants, and that will be cornerback Marcus Peters. Now, there are some, I guess you could say downsides to a possible Marcus Peters signing. Now, he is up there in age. He is going to be 30 years old before the NFL season starts. And he is, he does have injury history. Definitely, recently he had I think he tore his ACL back in 2021, which he did not play a whole season. So last year was his first season back off of that ACL injury, and he did not have the best season. When we look at the statistic, he did give up, I think, a 113 QBR passer rating allowed when the ball was thrown to him. But Marcus Peters, in my opinion, would be a perfect fit for Wink Martindale because he played with Wink Martindale over there in Baltimore. He's also a man press corner, which we know that is what Wink Martindale wants to do, and he also would come at possibly a $9 million market value when you look it up on Spot Track. Majority of these numbers are going to be from Spot Track, but Marcus Peters, in my opinion, makes way too much sense for the New York Giants. First off, he is a veteran, so we have a lot of young cornerbacks and young pieces in his secondary, like a Cordell Flott, like an Aaron Robinson, like a Dane Belton. Marcus Peters could help, those guys in that aspect. And also, I think he does still have some, gas left in that tank. I don't think he's 100% cooked, and I would not mind seeing him be the CB2 for the New York Giants in 2023. So, one guy that I think is definitely a possible signing for the New York Giants, a guy that I've been looking at ever since season's end, ever since I found out Wink Martindale would be back as the New York Giants defensive coordinator, is cornerback Marcus Peters. Would not be shocked if the Giants went out and signed him this offseason. Now, let's get into the offensive side of the ball. Here are, I think, two wide receivers I think the New York Giants could possibly go out and possibly sign in this offseason. Now, the honorable mention will be Mecole Hardman, wide receiver of the Kansas City Chiefs. An absolute deep threat, a speedy wide receiver over there in that Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes-led offense. A guy who was over there in a vital part of the offense when they had Tyreek Hill and what Mike Kafka was over there in Kansas City. Now, he is going to be coming off of surgery. I'm not really sure what the surgery was. He wasn't even allowed, or he didn't even play in the Super Bowl due to the injury that he had suffered. But I could definitely see the Giants looking at Mecole Hardman and saying, hey, he was over there in Kansas City. Mike Kafka definitely knows the guy, and Mike Kafka would know how to scheme him into the New York Giants offense. So I would not mind the New York Giants going out and signing Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman isn't, a 6 foot, 6'5" tall wide receiver, even though, we have that Wandale Robinson as a speedy slot guy. But Mecole Hardman is just an offensive weapon to where you can give him the ball in multiple types of ways, kind of like Isaiah McKenzie, who's also a free agent from the Buffalo Bills. Kind of the same way, a guy you can use him in multiple ways on the offensive side of the ball. You can hand him the ball up the backfield. You can throw him, curl routes, slant routes, give him the ball in space, wide receiver screens. Would not mind seeing those two guys possibly as Giant signings. But here's another guy that I definitely think the New York Giants could go out and sign, and that would be DJ Chark of the Detroit Lions. Now, this guy is, once was a Pro Bowl wide receiver over there in Jacksonville. Does have a 1,000-yard season on his record, and last year he signed with Detroit on, I think, a 1-year, $10 million deal. Had a decent season where he had around 500 yards. Nothing an insane type of production, but we have seen him have, pretty decent production. Now, he's not a wide receiver one. There isn't a lot of wide receiver one stud wide receivers out in this free agency class. Now, the Chargers, there's been talk that they could possibly be releasing Keenan Allen. Now, he is a wide receiver one, does, have an injury history. So, if he was to hit the open market, now that is a guy that I think a lot of teams could be prioritizing and possibly signing maybe even the Giants, because he is a wide receiver one when he is on the field. But back to DJ Chark, he is a guy that I don't think would cost much. I think he has a $9 million to $10 million dollar market value on Spot Track, so wouldn't cost a lot to bring him in. Even though he is not a number one wide receiver, he is a weapon. He is a wide receiver that I think could have a pretty decent season in an offense where he would most likely be a vital part to, because the Giants don't have a lot of stud wide receivers on the roster. We got Isaiah Hodgins. Shout out to Isaiah Hodgins, who will be back. Love that guy. And we also have Wan'Dale Robinson, who before he got hurt was having an amazing game, was just getting warmed up, just scratching the surface as a rookie after he left with a 100-yard game after tearing his ACL. But DJ Chark is a guy I definitely think the New York Giants had to take a look at. He's a young 26-year-old guy, had a Pro Bowl season back in Jacksonville, so who knows what he could be in an offense where he would be, a vital part, because the Giants will have a lot of weapons. So DJ Chark, a young 26-year-old wide receiver, definitely think the New York Giants should take a look at him in this year's free agency class. Now, the next guy has been a guy that a lot of Giants fans have been naming as a guy they would like the New York Giants to sign. Now, it's not Tremaine Edmonds. We did talk about Tremaine Edmonds early after the season was over, but it would be David Long Jr. from the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Tennessee Titans today did make a lot of cuts. They did a lot of releasing today. They released Randy Bullock, the kicker. They released linebacker Zach Cunningham. They released Taylor Lewan, the left tackle. They also released Robert Woods, a better wide receiver that also the New York Giants could possibly take a look at. But with David Long Jr., we're talking about a guy that would definitely help shore up this running game and definitely be the linebacker one on the New York Giants roster. David Long Jr. to me is a guy that definitely would come in and help this run defense of the New York Giants, which we know could arguably be the weakest spot of this New York Giants defense from last year's season. We was horrible in the run game. I think we gave up the most yards per run throughout the whole NFL. So David Long would come in here, be a plus, a big upgrade in the run game. Imagine him, filling in those gaps, hitting running backs in the backfield with Dex Lawrence and Leonard Williams, opening up those gaps. But in pass coverage, David Long Jr. is not bad either. I think he made a couple improvements this year in pass coverage. Not amazing. He's not like a Fred Warner type of, covers linebacker, but he is also not bad. He's decent, decent to good at best at pass coverage, and that's something he could always improve in. So David Long Jr., I think the market value on him is like $10 million, $11 million. Definitely think the New York Giants got to go out there. I don't know, rather if it's in free agency, rather if it's in the draft, they have to go out and shore up this linebacking group. I am sick and tired of seeing Jalen Smiths and Gerard Davis's practice squad guys or free agents that was still out there on the open market in week 10, and the Giants picking up those guys. We can't go out there like that again this year. We cannot. So David Long Jr. is a guy that I'm actually going to predict. My first prediction of the offseason is that the Giants will sign David Long Jr. to a contract. Even PFF predicted him to be signed by the New York Giants. So if I had to make one prediction from this video, that would be that the New York Giants will sign David Long Jr. in free agency if the Titans don't re-sign him. But I could definitely see the New York Giants signing a linebacker, and that linebacker I'm going to predict is going to be David Long Jr. of the Tennessee Titans. I really hate to make the portion of this video because I'm that big of a Saquon Barkley fan, but let's talk about some of the possible running backs I could see the Giants signing to fill in the void if Saquon Barkley were to walk and sign with another team in free agency. The first guy is Kareem Hunt from the Cleveland Browns. Now, he had requested a trade mid-season, I want to say during the NFL season last year, from the Cleveland Browns. Now, he did end up playing the rest of the season and has been one of the best backup running backs, a part of one of the best running back tandems over the past couple of seasons with Nick Chubb there. And I don't expect the Browns to re-sign him. They already have that huge cap hit looming this season with Deshaun Watson at a whopping, $54 million I read a couple of days ago. So I don't expect the Cleveland Browns to go out there and re-sign Kareem Hunt. They already have Nick Chubb, who's possibly the best running back in the NFL. In some people's eyes, you could definitely argue it. So I don't expect the Giants, or the Browns rather, to re-sign Kareem Hunt. Would not mind the Giants going out there and signing Kareem Hunt. He's a guy that I think is a starting running back in the NFL. He just hasn't had the freaking carries to do so over the past couple of seasons because he's been playing behind Nick Chubb. But when he was over there in Kansas City before everything happened, he was one of the best running backs in the NFL. And I do think Kareem Hunt still has, you know, the gas in the tank at the age, I think, of 28 years old. You know, it wouldn't cost a lot of money to bring in. Definitely think the New York Giants could bring him in on a proven deal, seeing how good you look in, you know, offense where you are getting majority of the carries. Another guy is Samaje Perine of the Cincinnati Bengals. When Joe Mixon had got hurt, I think he dealt with a concussion injury, Samaje Perine filled in and he did the best he could do. I don't think that Cincinnati Bengals offense missed a beat with Joe Mixon being out. Samaje Perine, you know what I'm saying, walked in, feeling that RB1 role for them mid-season, and he shined out, you know what I'm saying. He did what the Cincinnati Bengals asked him to do. Definitely think the New York Giants could, you know, possibly sign him, bring him in to be RB1. And with a drafty running back, I do think that, you know, Saquon Barkley does leave, they are going to still go out there and sign a running back on a low short-term deal. But they could also still go ahead and, you know, draft a running back. I know a lot of people like Tajay Sharp, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys have, you know, been talking about him. A lot of Giants fans have been talking about possible, you know, draft of Tajay Sharp, like him too. But another guy is Damian Harris of the New England Patriots. You know, I didn't even think he was a free agent. I don't expect the New York Giants or the New England Patriots, the new is messing me up, but I don't expect the New England Patriots to go out there and re-sign him. Ramondre Stevenson had a great season for them this past season. Damian Harris is just another low, cost-efficient guy. He's young. He's like, I think 26 years old. So he's a young running back, young power back, will bring some, you know, a power, you know, straightforward hitting to the Giants offense. But that's really it, man. These are just some of the few free agents I think the New York Giants could possibly sign. There's a whole bunch of other ones. We didn't even get to the offensive line in this video. There's a bunch of other linebackers. It's a very flooded cornerback free agency class, a very flooded running back free agency class. But that's what we're gonna do it. Leave down below in the comment section some of the free agents you think the New York Giants take a look at, so we can go ahead and talk about it down below in the comment section. But that's really it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you comment, and make sure you go hit that subscribe button for your boy. But thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And until then, it's been your boy Jay Johnson. I am out. Go Giants. We out.